Thanks everyone for joining today. So we'd like to bring to you an exciting topic where we'll discuss, the importance of integrating your CMMS system with your biomedical PM workflow. And we're fortunate here to have guests both from the Fluke Health Solutions side and with one of our core partners in Nuvolo that we've been pursuing an integration with. So as Dan said, my name is Ephraim Machtinger. I'm a product manager here with FHS. Been here for about a year and a half, but collectively around 8 years of experience with product management, engineering, and manufacturing, and healthcare, in industrial transportation, and oil and gas industries. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our two other speakers and ask them to provide a little bit more color on themselves as well. First, we have Dylan Sri Janaita, who's one of our test engineers with FHS and has been deeply involved in the technical integration aspects with OneQA. He's got about 2 years of experience with us. And then we have Andrew Sweet from Nuvolo. Andrew is the VP of Product Management. He brings over 35 years of design and technology innovation experience, designing, engineering, and bringing to market cutting-edge products for the aerospace, banking, healthcare, analytics, and enterprise network technology markets. He's an interactive designer, principal infrastructure and cloud architect, and 25-year software developer. So thank you both for joining today. And let's kick it off with Dylan. Dylan, can you provide a little bit more background about your role at FHS and talk a little bit about OneQA and what its core capabilities are and what makes it special? I think we have folks on mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so thanks, Ephraim. My name is Dylan, test engineer for FHS. I've been focused primarily on a workflow automation software that we have been developing, and it's called OneQA. And so what I've been doing for that is supporting some development to interface with some of our Fluke biomedical test devices, and then also supporting customer success activities. And so I've been interacting with a lot of technicians through those processes to learn about the workflows and how they can be automated. So through that, I've gotten more involved in some of these third-party integrations with CMMS systems or otherwise. So that's where I've been involved. And OneQA, if I could just give a little more detail about that, is a cloud-based software that makes collaboration very easy within an organization or facility, and it interfaces with some of the test equipment that Fluke Biomedical already provides, and some of our attendees might already use and be familiar with. So it kind of tries to bring together that whole ecosystem into one universal testing platform to make technicians' workflows easier. Yeah, that's it on my end.
Great. And Dylan, just what are some of the key features that that have been built into OneQA that you think that stand out from other solutions?
Sure. I think, I mean, as I mentioned, it's cloud-based, so collaboration is very easy. Data integrity is one of the priorities. Ease of use is also a consideration that we took seriously. So it's very easy to pick up and learn how to use. I would say it's very strong as a checklist design software. So we have created an editor built into it so that you can customize and generate checklists to suit your needs. And as part of this, there are various automated tests that are supported by our test equipment that can be used there. So I would say checklist and procedure execution, but then on the flip side of that, all the reporting capabilities have also been very thought through. So whether it be generating a PDF or maintaining the data in some other format, OneQA supports much of that.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Dylan. And then Andrew, if you could, walk us through Nuvolo and kind of what the company does. that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. So Nuvolo's hallmark is our connected workplace platform, which is part enterprise asset management, aka CMMS, part space, move, integrated workplace management, and field service management. So we've been very strong in healthcare, specifically healthcare maintenance, both clinical and facilities, as the life cycle system of record for those devices from onboarding to retirement, and handling the work orders, compliance, plan maintenance, etc. I
Great.
also would like to introduce Kevin Dorr from my team, who's not on the slide. Give him a moment to introduce himself.
Hey, Andrew, can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, I apologize. I had a few communications problems this morning, but it's nice to be here. I work with Andrew. In fact, Andrew's my boss, and I'm a senior product manager. And as Andrew mentioned, we have a number of different solutions that we offer, certainly in the healthcare and life sciences space, as well as others. And I oversee a few of those products.
Great, thanks, guys. All right, so without further ado, Andrew or Kevin, just to provide a little bit of context, can you describe, for the audience, kind of what is a CMMS, and how is it important to hospitals in their everyday workflow?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and take that one. So a CMMS stands for, and everyone probably knows this, but I'll just go ahead and not make any assumptions. It's Computerized Maintenance Management System. Sometimes people refer to it as an enterprise asset management software solution. And it's really designed to help simplify maintenance management of equipment and different assets that you may find in different facilities. A CMS can provide a lot of benefits, such as reducing equipment downtime, increasing productivity, keeping track of maintenance and repairs. So it does a number of things.
Okay, great, thank you for that. All right, so let's get into kind of the details of the integration. So for Dylan, you talked a little bit about OneQA and what some of its core features are, but why should it ultimately be integrated with a CMMS, and what are some of those advantages?
Yeah, good question. I think there's a lot of benefits for a lot of different people, actually. So for the technician who's actually performing the testing, the typical workflow could have a lot of switching between systems. So, starting from the CMMS, finding a service manual, finding the equipment, finding the test equipment, and performing the workflow. And so with the integration, there's a little bit less switching. So you can go straight from your work order right into the testing, and then not need to input results. And so it's a little bit more streamlined, which I think the benefit of is there's far less opportunity for error. There's time savings on that end. And then also it's easier to make, there's less judgments involved of, what workflow do I need to run? And so I think that just, the integrity of the testing improves, but also just a little bit more simplified, and there's stronger confidence in the result.
Great. And so when you think about that integration, this could be for anyone on the call, how does kind of OneQA unlock that value to the customer by being connected with the CMMS, and why is it that sort of without having that integration, it's the sort of value can be limited in that sense?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. So I think, in this case, Nuvolo does an excellent job of, equipment inventory and work order management and scheduling, and probably other things that I'm not even aware of. But a big gap that we found, and with our test equipment, we try to address is the testing workflows themselves. And so, just like switching from the work order management system to the execution itself, and then back again, is really where we saw a great need. There was a lot of variation in the procedures that different facilities will use, but oftentimes it's fairly manual or cumbersome, where you either have a shared directory with service manuals or a binder full of them, and then like a handwritten checklist. And tracking down what needs to actually be run was sometimes poorly defined. And then the record keeping when going through the workflow, was sometimes really just handwritten. And then reporting those back into Nuvolo and attaching to the work order and such, could in some cases have been maybe a cell phone picture of those handwritten notes. So there's a lot of opportunity for, I guess, digitizing that whole process. And so that's where OneQA, I think, shines and tries to really just eliminate all of the manual issues. And I'd say it's just much more consistent and standardized format.
Yeah, and I'll add to that as well from the Nuvolo side, of course, having a modern cloud-based system in OneQA opened up opportunities for us to do a much more, as Dylan was describing, a much more seamless, transition of that attestation data, because it's an important part of the system, the lifecycle system of record for the device from a compliance and just maintenance and trending standpoint to understand, if a device's test results are moving towards an out of range value, obviously having that in the system, that's the lifecycle system of record, you can trend that, you can see that, and you can of course make plans as appropriate to do remediation before it becomes a problem where the test fails.
Yeah, all really great points, and I think that's why we've invested heavily in making this integration work, and making sure that biomed shops are able to not just have the value that OneQA provides in workflow productivity, but being able to benefit from workflow productivity across the board. All right. So for Andrew or Kevin, how do you view the integration with OneQA so far, and what got you excited about pursuing it?
Yeah, this is Kevin. That's a great question, and I'd start out by saying Nuvolo is always, we're always looking to partner with industry leaders like Fluke. In fact, Andrew, I like this phrase that Andrew uses often, in that we believe that these type of partnerships create a better together outcome for our clients, and that's what we're really looking for. We want to ensure that our clients have the best possible experience as possible. So, when we had a chance to work with Fluke, we're obviously very excited, and we want to delight our clients, and we feel that this integration with Fluke is just another opportunity to do just that. We think, as Dylan mentioned, he did a great job in mentioning that this is going to save our clients time. It's going to reduce manual entry of data, which will reduce some data entry errors. It'll help improve compliance and some other benefits as well.
Great. And then how do you kind of, now that we're sort of in the starting phase, Kevin, what gets you excited about sort of the future of where we could go with this integration?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's something that we can definitely move forward with. We've already had a great relationship with Fluke, and one of the things that we want to continue doing is we want to continue to improve the integration, provide more information, so that our clients are having to do less work. It's more automated, so they can focus on the more important tasks without having to worry about data entry all the time.
Great, thanks. All right, next question. So for Dylan, let's get a little bit into kind of the process of how we did this integration. So, at a high level, can you, just talk about the process that we went through to do the basic integration that's been done with Nuvolo?
Sure, yeah, gladly. So I think on this point, OneQA, the product itself, we offer an API for interfacing with it. So you can leverage that to integrate, either to launch a procedure externally or to receive the test result when the workflow is completed. And so with that already available, we engaged with the Nuvolo team to kind of conceive the ideal workflow that a technician and you know, a biomedical manager would like to see. And so with that, you know, as the motivation informing that, we kind of pieced together this, you know, start to finish end-to-end workflow of starting from the work order, leveraging the API to, you know, to launch a procedure, and then when the result is ultimately complete, send it back. So yeah, but we were just really thinking from the perspective of people on site who are actually, you know, performing the work to see where we could best focus the efforts. And yeah, I'd say, you know, mostly we were leveraging the OneQA API, but then also doing some custom work on the Nuvolo end to enable that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think one of the key things that, you know, that we're doing is, you know, starting out with this sort of basic integration that can be done via the APIs, but then, you know, working with a variety of different customers to, you know, understand where do we go from there, and being able to build up, you know, the requisite features that are sure to solve specific workflow problems. As we see, there are different challenges depending on your shop setup, depending on the types of devices you have in CMMS. So it's really a nice way to start with a fundamental connection, but then really take it to customers from there, to build it up and make sure that it's, you know, suitable for production.
Yeah, that's right. And just to follow up on that, one additional point that you know, you kind of reminded me of. Yeah, so we, you know, Nuvolo has a deep understanding of you know, users of that platform, and then we have a deep understanding of Fluke Biomedical test equipment. And so joining, you know, putting our minds together and was definitely crucial for this work. And we absolutely want to continue to build and iterate as we continue to get feedback on it.
Great. So kind of just to extend on that thought, Dylan, you know, how easy or not easy was it to set up the integration, you know, from a technical perspective, and, you know, what did you see as sort of the main benefit there? Just if we can maybe, you know, paint a picture for folks on the call on what it takes to do an integration, not just with Nuvolo, but even in general as well.
Yeah, great question. I think you know, what we came up with was a really, I guess, elegant solution, and I would give kudos to you know, the Nuvolo product managers and developers for coming up with, you know, a simple but powerful way to leverage OneQA API. So the setup was fairly straightforward, actually. With that work finished, you know, Nuvolo already has these checklist rules as a concept for if a work order has a particular set of conditions, then, you know, something may happen. And so in this case, if those conditions are satisfied, you are given the option to launch a checklist in OneQA. And so with the setup process for that is essentially defining those rules and then also having those checklists set up in OneQA and mapping those two together. And so you know, after a tutorial, I think that basically anyone could figure out how to do this. And the benefits of that are really just to have, you know, one person who's deeply knowledgeable about what the testing that needs to be done is, and then with that configuration, the whole team is really just enabled or empowered to perform that testing consistently under one, you know, prescribed methodology. So yeah, it's really the benefit that I see.
Great. And Andrew or Kevin, any comments on your side about the, you know, the work involved on Nuvolo to kind of make this integration possible?
This is Kevin. I just add that it's been a pleasure working with the entire Fluke team. They've been very helpful, very responsive, so that's made it good. And I'd like to add just a couple things or confirm a couple things that Dylan said. One, he talked about it being an elegant solution, and while it's certainly a good solution now, you know, we definitely want to improve it over time. But you know, it's certainly a good solution at this point, and we're just never satisfied, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We always want to continue to improve and enhance our solutions for our clients. And then he made another comment about it being easy to use, very straightforward and stuff. And that's one of the things that we want to provide as well. We don't want anything that we create to be confusing or difficult to use, because that just frustrates people. And we want people to be delighted with our solutions that we offer.
Really good point. Thanks, Kevin. All right. So back to the Nuvolo side. So what are your expectations of the customer benefits, and for Kevin, actually, what are you hearing from your conversations with customers so far about the needs and benefits of integrating OneQA into the CMMS?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, our clients, are always excited to save time and reduce errors, and we're already receiving some positive feedback from some of our clients about this integration. So that's very exciting, and I think that as more clients move forward and adopt this solution, we'll continue to receive very positive feedback. Like I said a moment ago, we don't want to just say, hey, this is it. We took a cut at it and it works and we're done. We're looking to partner with our clients and obtain feedback from them. So as folks are listening on this call, I would encourage you to, and you want to move forward, I would encourage you to do so, knowing that not only will we be here to answer questions for you, but you'll be able to provide it's like a direct conduit back to us as we're looking ahead and saying, what else can we do? How can we improve the solution? How can we make this integration even better? So Dylan and myself, definitely very eager to hear from folks that are using this and take that feedback and hopefully make it even a better integration in the future.
Yeah, no, really appreciate the comment, Kevin. I'm curious, is there any sort of specific feedback we've been getting lately about things that we intend to work on next with the integration?
Well, we already have some ideas, some things that we've identified that we think might make sense for us to move forward on. But this is, again, the reason why we want to continue to get people going on this so that we can get some feedback. Listen, it's a new solution. We haven't had it available for that long, and we're looking for folks to say, hey, listen, I'm willing to get this installed. I want to receive these benefits. I want to save time. I want to reduce errors, that sort of thing. And then as they're using this, we want to get that feedback. So, hey, tell me, are there any shortcomings? I mean, we feel like it's a solid solution, but we also feel like we can always do better. There's always room for improvement. So we want to hear that. We want to get that, and we want to incorporate that back. So as we start hearing from some of our clients, we'll start to take the stuff that we already know and we'll prioritize that against what we're hearing and get things going in the future.
Great. So, with that, I mean, how do you see the partnership between Fluke and Nuvolo evolving to continue to support our customers in the medium to long term?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, I mean, we want our clients to use the solution and let us know how it works for them. I mean, every client does things a little bit differently. So the more feedback that we can receive, the better we can refine and improve the solution. And like I said, this isn't a short-term thing. This is a long-term relationship that we have with Fluke. We'll continue to work with them as they update APIs, make more information available. We'll be able to send more information and provide, again, a more elegant and rich integration with Fluke.
Great. All right, well, we'll go to our last one, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So a little bit kind of, future thinking outside of the integration itself. OneQA has the capability to collect and store, a lot of data about assets, reporting data, procedural templates, things of that nature. So, for Dylan, and how do you think we might leverage this kind of data that OneQA has to, ultimately improve the reliability of the medical equipment that we test and that customers have?
Yeah, I mean, you say you already, I guess, touched on a lot of it in the question there itself to get people thinking about the possibilities. But I do think Andrew mentioned this earlier in the call about, yeah, just like having this, large trove of data of, the health of medical equipment. And so if we do have a system that is able to collect this, which, with the streamlined workflow of Nuvolo to 1QA back to Nuvolo, this would give facilities the ability, or manufacturers over a large collection of facilities, to aggregate all of that information and to either predict failures of equipment or improve their designs. I think that there are even insights that we can't really predict at this point until we actually have that capability. So on that note, I think this is the first few steps along that path toward improving, of course, day to day the testing workflow, but then in the long term you'd have much greater insight into what are the blind spots right now to the testing, and what needs to be focused on, and what are the process improvements or design improvements there that for both the manufacturer, the hospital that's doing the testing, et cetera. So it's an exciting prospect, and I don't think I've thought of all the possibilities. So I'm sure folks on the Nuvolo side could also comment.
Yeah, that's I agree largely with Dylan in that there's a lot of opportunities here, and we're looking forward to continuing to partner with Fluke certainly in the future. And again, as we hear back from our clients about things that they have problems that they have on their day-to-day basis, we'll do whatever we can. And I say problems, meaning just in this things they do every single day, not a problem with this particular solution or integration, but just, hey, where are your pain points every day? How can we help you do those together? And like I said earlier, we will work with our partners, like Fluke, for instance, to create a better together story so that we can, our ultimate goal is to provide that value to our customers and delight them.
Great, thanks for the input, guys. And yeah, I just wanted to highlight again that 1QA at its core right now is solving problems that we've solved around test automation before, but we're taking it to the next level. And that's kind of the idea that through this integration as one piece of that is going to try to get us to the point where, yeah, it's not just about test automation, but it's really thinking from the perspective of the biomed manager, the administrator. How do we solve the end-to-end workflow productivity issue? And of course, the other peripheral challenges that go with that, like standardization of reporting and training, and being able to make sure that 1QA is a solution that enables folks to understand what procedures to apply when, and minimize as much as possible the direct training that would need to be done ordinarily, by pulling procedures through service manuals and finding the right service manuals and things of that nature. So it's kind of step one right now, but we're really trying to push the envelope and go past just a simple test automation solution. And I think we have a really great team here that has put a lot of effort into thinking about that future vision. So I really appreciate that, guys. So with that, we will kind of move into the Q&A. So this will be an open floor. Whoever feels that they've got a good answer, feel free to jump in. So first question I have here is, we have PM checklist procedures that we want to integrate into the Oracle GE Asset Plus system, and we want all Fluke Analyzer test results to be automatically transferred to the Asset Plus system, so that way everything is automated, and we avoid time consumption. Do you have the ability to do that, to speed up our workflow?
Hey, Ephraim, I'm sorry. Could you just repeat that once?
Yeah, so the question is, we have PM checklist procedures that they want to be integrated into Oracle GE Asset Plus, and to have all their Fluke Analyzer test results automatically transferred to the Asset Plus system. So that way that kind of end-to-end process is automated. Do we have the ability to do that, and how would we? So it seems like it's a integration with a different CMMS.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. This is Kevin. That's what I'm hearing. I think the good news is, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the good news is you guys, and I'm just kind of giving you props here in the sense that you guys have a good mature API. I mean, we've already experienced that here at Nuvolo. So we've seen it, we've worked with it, we've integrated with it. So if you guys moving forward, working with a different CMMS, that certainly seems possible to me, but you may have to take that one offline.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. It seems like, an interface would need to be developed to do that. There's nothing currently out of the box for that platform. So it would be, custom work similar to what we collaborated on with this Nuvolo workflow.
Yeah. So I think the short answer is yes. And we, based on this kind of conversation, we have a growing, robust process to do that. So, that is something we can certainly look into, and feel free to contact us, to start having those conversations. So the second question I have, we have medical devices that are distributed across ambulance hubs, and we want to monitor them live. Can that be done, and how?
I'm not quite sure. So they want to monitor the test devices or the medical devices themselves. I don't know. That doesn't seem like something 1QA can handle. It seems more like an equipment tracking solution, which is, there are solutions out there for that kind of thing.
Okay.
That might be targeted.
Go ahead.
That might be more targeted toward the medical device.
Okay. Yeah. I think if it's a medical device, probably that's going to be a little bit outside the scope of 1QA, but perhaps if it's, the testing devices themselves, that's certainly something that perhaps could be considered, although that's, I don't believe, Dylan, anything that we've discussed yet on the roadmap.
Yeah, for just asset tracking, and every time someone's working on it or using it, that would fall under Nuvolo's mobile solution today. So yeah, and then again, if they're wanting to get the test results in, that should also work, with 1QA and Nuvolo, regardless of where the asset is.
Okay. And then we've got one more here. If I have an Answer plugin license, can that be used to integrate with the CMMS instead of 1QA?
So Nuvolo does have an Answer integration, but obviously the 1QA integration is the future, right?
Yeah, I think, Answer has an interface. I'd say the architecture of the software is limiting. So, just to have two cloud-based softwares talking to each other just allows for much more growth and improvement over time, where Answer is somewhat kind of frozen in time as it exists now. So certainly there's an interface, but I'd say the 1QA interface is a bit more powerful and also has more room to grow.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, I think that's about it for questions here. So really want to thank all of you for joining today and for providing your time. It was a really informative discussion, and hope we can look forward to continuing our partnership, and and for the folks on the call, if CMMS integration is something that you'd like to pursue, that's again something based on our partnership with Nuvolo. We'd love to explore those options with you in the future. So with that, I will turn it back over to Dan.
Thank you guys, and thank you everyone for joining us.